send me a message. I'm gonna send you the manifest. Then after reading the manifest, you can come. We will talk about a lot of things and the policy on national security that is also there. So if you want, we can do that.
Assalamualaikum. Mana ini mbara. Nko lafta fenkele nyinin kala kuma doto Savage. Savage sisa biro wax yaangi wax ne su fekke jumuma nga ne ñuy support Essa Faal sa ñooñu nonu gaay xamul lan motax ñuy support Essa Faal
si jaar
te man xamna lutam ma ko
wa legi motax man ci suma time bi mang la fa bëgga jox 1 minute or 2 minutes nga jema clarify lolu nonu lan nga ci jublu dal manam yow lo min ci lolu nonu ne ñuy support Essa Faal gaay xamul lan motax ñuy support Essa Faal
waaw nga wax ma lolu
dédé man waxuma ne
that's what you right bro you say
déglu la xam nga man mako wax legi xara ma wax lu ma wax
nga am feeling nga am ñuy support Essa Faal waaw
exactly
why lolu nonu ben la rek
dédé angale la kade I'm not implying
wow we all understand English
I'm not implying that yet hamulen however I have a feeling now it's up to you guys to convince me that you know by answering my question. Do regular.
Yeah, so if we answer your question, your feeling is just an accusation, Oda?
How can that be an accusation?
Like if we answer your question, like I know I support him.
How can you sit at your home comfortably, having a mere feeling? I mean, bro, come. Like you, can you please break that?
I really like the fact that you have a freedom in my platform to talk and to express yourself. In other platform, you don't have that, bro.
Well, okay. Wait a minute. Man, duma de disrespect ni duma de saga ken. Mota fuma de ma hate fa. Nyuma ham yep. Si TikTok bi. So len laje Savage, na wane Savage will only
Savage. Savage is a disrespect. Magu to ñun bay suñ ñela bay suñ jabari bay suñ kiri du wax pour jëbi Gambie nga bilif la ñun xamuñ ca Essa ñu ko topa lolu
I never said I believe.
Of course, listen to me, Savage.
You say you have a feeling that the people following him don't even know why they are.
Why they are supporting? Yes.
Listen to me, Sabit. Listen to me. Nañ jox bay ma rek mo Sabit. Ñu ñoy menté jabar ci jaxay ñoy menté suñu doom yi ñoy diblante. Nañ ta taxal wax bu na wax di rafet. Wax bu aga do fa ko mom.
But Mr. Go ahead.
King lañ fi légui nga tontu ben 1 minute bente mu la ko jox answer bi. Come on, man. We all go to school. We are not stupid. We are not fools. Te ñu top of fool ak dof. Sabi man dama na dara bi moto man bañ kat la. So fu ma jub rek xamal ne fu non man ku baax la topa. Ak gor bu may topa ko xamne c'est fake. Mu leer mu ngok la ci fu nekk xina xamuloo ma. Waaye nañ joxante cër. So ñëw ci kër jàmbur da nga def lu neex borom kër gi ndax mu fa xej.
Somebody is saying, Mariama, having a feeling is a human right. Come on. Okay, if I may ask, within 1 minute, can you please define feeling for me?
Why man feeling Essa Faal yow respect lo feeling bobu
déedéet déggu leen ma wax fii ne bu leen toppa Essa Faal loolu dugul ci bagni wale
we don't know
Sabi légui man dama bëgg ñu waxtaan dama bëgg nga ñëw ci team Essa Faal ñu liggéey pour Gambia fekk yow lo nga Gambia
of course
même système Maria même ok légui so légui lan nga bëgg ñu tégal table pour nga mëna ñëw pour ñu liggéey as Gambia pour yowu Gambia dem ci kanam
dama leen fekk yi na ngay waxtaan wax gi agriculture
waaw
man laaj lu set witch ne
ok
problème bu gaay doon wax ci luma leen fekk ñom luñ doon feeñal
waaw
mooy ne yes there are lapses within our agricultural system but ñoom luñ doon wax ne loolu la Essa Faal di firnde that does man loolu does not convince man I'm not convinced ne
okay fine I agree with you
there's enough results
okay of course da nga say benn question you're not convinced But you
Correct.
business because we know the agriculture. We've been working on the agriculture before we travel to Europe, and we never see any government, even Swanian Papa, same time they have never had that implement to help the agriculture to develop. Continue.
Well, I disagree with that.
Then me too, I disagree with you on the side.
If you go, Manek, I'm not vast on Gambian history, but I'm pretty sure during Jawara's time, we had a very strong in terms of rice
Of
production.
course, okay, because by that time they produced rice in Gambia because it was working and it was killed by Yaya Jammeh.
Wait, hold on a minute. Don't go too fast. If you say Gambia, since time in Jawara, they haven't addressed that issue. You can all of a sudden say, okay, so your papa dapat nyo after Yaya Jammeh. Sorry, sa papa dapat nyo after Jawara dahlan.
Before Jawara, mo yung Jawara ko yung PVP. Wow.
Okay, so now they have done their best in order to provide some sort of sustainability.
Yes.
Okay, now Yaya Jammeh nyo ngane mude.
Wow.
Okay, so Barrow is not doing anything.
But not Gambia.
Okay. Okay, so Barrow mu ñew dara nek ko
flat.
mu gëna flat.
Wow.
Okay, now legi Essa Faal
Wow.
ban plans ban arma ko si Olaf ban pexe la am to revive or to enhance the agricultural sector of the Gambia. Man ma deglu la.
Thank you very much. This is the question we wanted here.
Savage, Essa has a good plan for agriculture to embrace the farmers, to develop that side, to benefit what we grow, we're going to eat from that side. And then the farmers will have a good support from his government to develop the agriculture side.
In what way?
In what way? In equipment and funds that all country needs. Because without equipment to work, you cannot work. You cannot do your work properly. Danga dem Gambia, man mangi bay tractor bi hanga nyala pay 2,700 per hectare pour grain ko. There's no tractors. Danga am pour nek ci queue bi. Look at this Burkina Faso, what he did. He just give tractors when he came over, and Senegal just they give tractors to their farmers.
So how did he do it? Is by aiming to do it, not like if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. Before you buy 109 car SUV, you can do it in agriculture.
That will not address the agriculture. That will not address. That's not enough.
Sabi, listen to me, Sabi. I have a question for you, Sabi.
Yeah.
Sabi.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, is it like a football game? Like, okay, if you want to have a professional footballer, you give him a trial to prove himself, right or not?
That's correct. But they have to show that they can play before you give them trial.
I can put you understand. How of your level of thinking that
Doctor, Savage, mom dafa mujjé ñew. Savage is just wasting our time. Légui have to mënu ñoo jétali agriculture sector.
Légui balal len ma mama ngi waste time. Balal len ma man dama dem.
No, Savage.
No, it's okay. Mama ngi waste time.
No, Savage, listen to me, Savage. I'm going to bed because I have to start work 7 o'clock.
Doctor.
We talk.
Doctor.
Doctor tey di nga wax bi
Doctor balal leen ma dugg tuuti ma bëgg dem ci
yépp ñun di
Savage.
Wala gi balal len ma man dama dem man ma ngi dem. Why thank you for your time.
Savage bul dem dañ la soxla bul dem.
No, déedéet xam nga waxtaani Gambia neexul. Because we jaay marchandise.
moom am na raaj pour laajte li moo laajte.
platform boo dem di nga ko fa gis kenn baaxul ci Gambia bi pour rule
Kii moom dafa mujjé ñew sax.
Sister, that's not true. That's absolutely not true.
Waa déglu Savage
man musuma wane kenn baaxut pour rule Gambia. Waaye lu ma
la follow waxuma ne yow de dama follow ni dee wax Chambers Smile Back Gambia ak ñëpp foofu yëpp rek day nekk problème.
Waa docteur Mariam
so yéen léegi da ngeen bëgg a mbooloo bi nga xam ne kenn du leen challenge
déedéet
loolu mooy problème.
docteur bàyyi leen ko rek mu laajte am na right bàyyi leen ko rek mu laajte.
question ci yëpp dégg nga yéy sax.
non déedéet non sister non amul problème man damaa wàcca yéen seen plateforme.
déedéet Savage bul wàcca.
I can bring you down.
man dama leen fekk yéen a ngi si programme. waaye xam naa ne
déedéet.
waaw man mun naa la bring you down.
waaw leena laa bëgg a wax bala leen ma rek ma wax ko.
Well, because you say you want to go down. Are we the one who bring you up or what?
déedéet bu leen ko déedéet bàyyi leen ko docteur bàyyi leen déedéet docteur.
yoo xam ne is going to be deadly. balaa moo wàcce I mean he is going to say something loo xam ne dina because man xam nga lan laa gis si Massy Savage bi.
waaye Mariam.
mooy may ma rek please. may ma please.
waaw am na
bul dem toogal dinañ wax ak yow dinañ wax ak yow loo mën a dégg.
you cannot may ma yey sax suñ jàmbaar yi dañ leen war a respect ñii ñu ngi jël abuse boo xam ne it's so unnecessary. Man, to me, when I listen to people like naka lañ ko waxee Savage dafa mel ni it's better ñu am one party state bul ma dog nag may ma rek moo because ñoom ñi suñ jàmbaar lañ ñi ñu ngi ñëw ñu ngi bëgg a réew mi ana sànga jógee fu famille yoo xam ne jarul ñu ñëw fii nii ñuy jaxasee der di leen caricature ak yooyu noonu and nobody is good man Savage dama ko dee toppa de and foog naa baby bi mun naa vouch for that every platform bu mu dem nii la dee behavior may respect suñ jàmbaar yi nga xam ne ñu ngi ñëw pour jël réew mi.
waaw Mariam
you don't agree with them man my advice to you is ne please demal doy bi nga xam ne foofu nga nekk.
Mariam.
Okay,
would I be given a chance? Would I be given a chance? Savage, my mama, 711, sister. I agree with you on one thing. This is Gambia, and we have to be very careful. What happened to the 20 system? We are not going to repeat that anymore again. Don't just anybody. Nothing. You go and enjoy it like what Barrow is doing to us. This is new Gambia.
That's what I'm saying. We argue because we know that is the best.
Imam yi ak ustaas yi ak ibaadu yi yëpp a dugg si politique léegi fu mu nekk dañ bëgg a réew mu tegu si yoon bu set yoon bu lew nga Savage muy wax ni du ma la juboo ak moom everyday ñu ngi xuloo si plateforme yi waaye lu moo wax ni it makes sense Essa nu moo introduce nit ñi si TRRC na face the same thing moo xam ne ñun suñ koo taana dañ koo taana ak préparation suñ ko joxee suñ réew mi ñu xam ne yaakaar ne dëgg-dëgg Essa buñ jox suñ réew mi mun na koo yóbbu nga Sénégal lii moo tax Sénégal gaay am sañ-sañ pour fees Sonko teg ko lu nekk mu muñ ko teg ko lu nekk si boobam mu muñ ko kon ñun Gambien buñ bañante buñ noonowante elek su mettee ñun ñoo ko feesaate everybody has any right pour nga laajte loo bëgg a laajte
loolu dëgg la
loolu dëgg la
foog ñu dégluwante tam ñu understandante because man dama di génnoon offline sax moo tax dama ñëwaat léegi ma dégg ak weerante bi waaye Savage yow yaa ngi laajte affaire yi agriculture nga ne li ma dégg nga wax mooy ne nga ne liñ joxe as ne Essa noonu la bëgg a développer agriculture bi yow you are not satisfied am nga si right su fekkee ne dañ ne Essa noonu la bëgg a développer agriculture bi xam nga comme like ñun ni ñoo toog di interpréter manifesto bi we might be wrong in a way ne duñ clarify xëy na comme Essa su toogee one to one di wax ni moo déglu I hope ne yéen a doon déglu Essa fu dem past interview am yi mu doon def yëpp when it comes to the agriculture su fekkee ñun wax nañ leen ne lii leen Essa bu ko defee agriculture bi te yéen óor na leen óor yàlla ne out of the candidates si ngeen gisangum ñun ñëpp suñ xel ci Essa Faal la nekka nañ leen waxtaan ñu rectifiante
baalal ma rek xam naa aji am may dafa am aji say dafa am network issues waaye the problem is Savage you're always welcome here waaye xam nga lan mooy problème bi Savage bala moo dugga si dafa fekk man ma si suma diggi wax moom li moo laajte nii yëpp amaana bu teeloon a ñëw ndi ko toon most of the questions yi because moom lu moo laajte mooy ok su ma ne Essa dafa bugga sustainable living dafa bugga pour ñuy ji lu nga xam ne ñun ñu ngi koo lekka mu ne naka la ñoo defee loolu like the actual steps ba pare you have to bear in mind ne we cannot give out
baby J xaaral Savage
waaw
man li ma understand from li Essa bugga def to my understanding gis nga comme li Yaya Jammeh all the time don't advocate for eat what you grow what you eat.
Correct.
Loolu la bëgg a def. And then feel na tamit ne manpower mënu koo def. Government dañ am pour dugal seen loxo si agriculture 80%. Yaa ngi understand? Because eat what you grow what you eat. ñi nekk ci farming area bi mënuñ koo defal seen boppa foog machines dina ñëw foog milling kuntawur milling jaxali pacca bi dinañ ko defar although gars yi ñu ngi ko start di ko use waaye foog naa dafa des because they need pour defaraat jaxali pacca fertilizer
jaxali pacca laa jógee
waaw dégg nga
jaxali pacca laa jógee foofu laa jógee
waaw waay xam gis ne ne baro government bi ñu ngi startaat ci jaxali pacca
there nothing absolutely jibi mbala suma xarit la all what
is ñu ko def wala defuñ ko
they are not doing nothing there
waaw okay thank you waa déglu nag ci kan la kanay wax ni
I will bring you back okay
waa déglu kanay wax ni Savage
wax ne moom Iba
Abdou
okay okay Abu
no mun nga wax
waa Abu déglul ba xam nga waxtaan tam balaa moo ne da ngeen di understandante because man li ma la wax mooy ne jaxali pacca moom la kii bugga Essa dafa bugga su xaliwaat jaxali pacca because man dama amoon di understanding ne balo government bi ñu ngi ko use waaye use wuñ ko niñ ko war a use because usuñ the whole land te Essa dafa bugga ekatiwaat jaxali pacca ak rice mill bi nekka Kuntawur do xam nga rice mill mu ngi Kuntawur waaye dañ ko négligé kenn use ko because amuñ quantity boo xam ne dafa dem sax si rice mill bi because loolu needs a lot of quantity of rice yaa ngi understand
wala benn wax si mbir boobu noonu gis nga su Essa ne loolu la moo campagne pour win that area Barrow dina ko win dem
déedéet waaye ñu ngi wax pare nguñ di waaye jaxali pacca bi is part of it di
waaw xaaral ma may la rek jaxali pacca
waaw
gis nga fu mu nekk nii ñoom su dee loolu mooy seen plan already ñii they are holding on their plans de élection bi su jigéen si ñu indi seen bagages yi indi lu nekk pour fekk ji nit ñi waaye lu ma la bëgg a wax sax mooy ne agriculture alone in our area Sierra is not enough for us.
waaw waaye comme nag déedéet waaye abu ñun ñu ngee wax on man maa ngi explain waaye yow dégguloo ma
maa ngi wax ne suñ ko defee sax suñ xaaree ba mu jege ñu def ko mu fekk muy loo xam ne miin nañ ñu koo def soo loolu duñu mën a convince ba tax ñu bàyyi leen fi
waaye this is not the only time
bi ñu def ko loolu façon ci boobu Gambia war nañ see eew
waaw waaye li ma wax mooy ñun ñu ngee waxangum si affaire yi maalo bi maalo dafa am period of time because Essa agriculture bi dugg na si affaire yi maalo bi dugg na si affaire rice mill bi dugg na si affaire yi horticultural bi all year round farming dugg na ci so su ngeen déglu du ngeen understandante ba pare su fekkee ne ñoom Barrow toog ba last minute bi mu isiwaat li mu bugg a isi pour naxaateen ko that is not the first time mu di ko def soo xanaa ñun nit ñi dañ dof ba nga xam ne every time dafa ñëw naxee leen benn affaire rek demaat kon ñun wéruñ di
waa léegi yow Essa Faal moom planam boobu pour andi jaxal pàcc comme let's say that is the plan okay kon yéen noonu lañ ko nekk di waxee nii 5 years la président war a toog.
It's part of the plan.
For the election.
Wow.
Let's assume Essa Faal won the election. In this plan, within that 5 years, One projection la am civil plan am pour one ne. Jahal Pacha will be ready and it will cut down on importation of rice. And how much does Gambia import as we speak right now? Nga hamne, what percentage of that lamo wani from Jahal Pacha? And looking at the population of the Gambia, Demba, Gambia don't pay lunyo leka. Sen population be on 2 million to 3 million people. You see, when I'm asking questions, I'm not talking if he did them directly. Essa Faal, the bond, the lifin, the falla. I have no problem with Essa Faal. Our problem, I've been politician. Only problem I have with politicians is their manifestos. Because the neighbor selimal Gambiani. Why man savage, man ben politician in Gambia, munuma selimal. Because man, I'm not only invested in politics in the Gambia. Why politics fuma deka fee man ma boka na si politics fee te duma dem si bunti kiri jambur ken di knock di ko wax ne dina la andil malo dina gis mbeykat yi ni dina gis mbeykat yi parce que mbeykat yi du suma affaire wante nan la wara def be mbeykat yi sen liggéey ñu mun si am ndam man lolu moy suma liggéey
waaye loolu la ñoo wax fii di because su fekkee ne waa déedéet fi nga em noonu xaaral ñu respond benn par benn léegi yow fi nga em noonu ñun dañ laal nañ foofu xam nga understand nga ko because su fekkee ne Essa dafa bëgg a create farming boo xam ne all year round la create ndox am na ci dëkk ci Gambia bi create loo xam ne ndox dafa am time noor create loo xam ne machine yoo xam ne dina dimbale béykat yi pour mu oyof ak ñoom create loo xam ne fertilizers dafa am fertilizers yoo xam ne xëy na part of it dinañ ko mën a defaree Gambia factories ubbeeku ñu manufacture defaral suñ boppa som fertilizers yoo xam ne mun nañ ko use because ba Gambia yëpp mbalit la te mbalit yooyu mun nañ ko use pour fertilizer instead of ñu dem de China di jëndi fertilizer yoo xam ne xamuñ naka lañ ko defaree waaye su fekkee ne government mun naa create factories yoo xam ne dina defar manufacture fertilizer even su fekkee ne covered the whole of what we need for that project li nga gis ne li ñoo jëndi si biti still will be less so cost bi dina gën a wàcc si ci lifini ci béykat yi.
It doesn't work like that. That's not realistic. It doesn't work like that.
It's not realistic.
You know, do you know the largest producers of fertilizer? You know those countries? It's Ukraine and Russia.
So lanay sen population ni deka ñun lanay suñ population ni deka.
Just give me a minute. You know how long it took
population ni deka?
You know how long it took.
What do they have to feed and how much do we have to feed?
You know how long it took them. You know how long it took them for them to come to realize that plan.
Yeah, Aisha. Bilai they fineka ba 5 key do.
Because it's already late here. Man I think small suggestion. Essa is a youth and I like him so much because personally I met with him. Then you also know what that. No, man luma fuck right now. Issa long war and jeka one Gambian Simoyne. This corruption that is happening in this government. Let him make his investigations. Mo xam lan mo du nega duga Gambia, lan mo neka di yahu. Yahu yoy non corruption yoy non. Ban yoon la xalaat ne moom su ñëwee loolu la moo dox pour mu génnee loolu comme Sonko non promisé Sénégalais lu Gambie nekku ne loolu naa wax ni yëpp Yaya amoon na plan bi Barrow am na plan bi but the corruption there moo tax gars yi mënuñ ko def
waaye ñun plateforme bi abu déedéet déglu baalal ma abu plateforme bi ñun dañoo déedéet doo wàcce déglu rek déedéet déglu xam nga li tax ñu wax si agriculture because platform bi ñun dañoo topp right now mooy manifesto bi every day dafa am programme dinañ ñëw ci affaire corruption.
Abu, give me 1 minute to address that side. Today we are talking only about
man sapola saruja la judo sapola neka li ma nekké xalé be mag 1991 la ñëw Kanifing Estate understand suma pa dafa am on forum bo xamné du jaxale pajar moom dafa am on machine am moo dee liggéey anybody koo laajte around that nga ne Alaaji Kéjaw Bayo dañ laa wane depuis PPP moom dafa on forum ñun dañ daan dem suñ on forum ñu liggéey ko jaaxal paacar we have 5 plots there understand nga lu ma la Yaya Jammeh plan sam yëpp indi woon na ko project si ñëw nañ all the projects dañ dee mën a ñëw Barrow tam time am projects si ñëw nañ problem is not about the finance and about the projects problem mooy the corruption.
Well, inside the manifest of Essa, there is a part that talk about corruption, but telling you that today we are only interested in the agricultural side. I know that you are talking about the corruption that is inside the agriculture also. But
Abu Yodina jël sa number bi dina la send benn fu Essa Faal himself di waxee affaire corruption ak naka la ko côté daal
suma ñoo de Gambia is an Gambia after me because ñun dañ am booloo ñu nga alu sunna yëpp fu mu nekk ne ñuy def daawa yëpp Gambia dañ bëgg a gis koo xam ne because ñëpp dañ believe ne politique waruñu see duga but we are coming to take a decision ne fu mu nekk ni fu ñu xool koo xam ne moo mun a sauver Gambia ñu waxaa moom Savage mu ngi ne several time dama day waxaa ñoom si Chambers ne fu mu nekk ni ñuy def daawa bëgg nañoo jóg léegi képp koo xam ne gëm nga alxuraan ak sunna nga jàppale Gambia pour ñu mun a koo seef sénégalais lu ñu def Sonko ñun tam ñu def ko sénégalais yi sunna yëpp dañ dem si gannaaw Sonko dimbale ko bem taxaw ñun tam Gambia dañ bëgg a gis ku wóor koo xam ne mun naa sori Gambia ñu dem si
how do you think that
Gambia it wouldn't work politique Sénégal ak politique Gambia
thank God somebody is saying that
mindset Sénégal ak suñ boss du benn bu leen bées ne because Sonko jël na over Sénégal ñun de keneen dañ war a politique noonu pour kooku jël it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, because brothers are fingers. Brothers are fingers and they are not even equal. Brothers are fingers and they are not even equal. You cannot take the parts of Senegal and bring it in the Gambia.
Mariam, Senegal, Senegal, Sonko is not doing here anything. Man maa ngi Sénégal right now tey lana tax depuis démb ba benn tey seen media bi yëpp dafa cut off te am ngeen Sénégal te yow tey because gaa ngi protest si ron amuñ benn lu leen ne so bu leen jël politique Sénégal di ko associé ta politique Gambia it's never the same. It's never the same.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Dr. Bay, go ahead.
Yeah. Elijah, thank you. Dama just join that forum. It's ongoing still. The reason I joined more, Abu, Amada, he left. But Savage. Have they left already?
Yeah, they left. They're together.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
I know someone sent me a message right now say that they are always in platform trying to interrupt people, but it's okay.
No, that's okay.
We appreciate
that's fine. Yeah, it's bad that they left. If more going on here, more again, platform be open platform la guy. So when we have people come in, then just platform for them to voice their opinion. But if they have questions to ask, you answer their questions. Why most importantly, then they global ham lunyowa. Because for nga deglu nit bu baax be xam lu mo wax nga mëna understand fan la joggé su fekkee ne nag daf ñu óor ne ñii only to interrupt moo leen tax a dugg si or only to sabotage moo leen tax a dugg si we have to give them as less attention as possible. I think that's the way forward. You cannot engage detractors 100%. su la óoree ne ñii day ñëw pour distract, then you ruin your platform and then you ruin your focal conversation, right? Manama buduga si one right to address your concern. It's too bad that they have gone. I'm hoping that they can hear me in order to call back.
They can hear you. They are yung si fans me.
Well, Savage, Mr. Savage and Mr. Abu, so please do so. Got a new Watane saying points you all raised with regarding Jahali Pachar and the agricultural agenda of Sobeya. I wish I had the opportunity to engage you guys, but it seems like I cannot see you on the forum anymore. So please do
am na ko fi nekk xaama wàcca ma invite ko fii 3 moo fi jot xam naa man dama tëddi jeexaluma suma agenda bi sa gaay ñëw di ma interrupt so dangaa gis ne Savage moom lim ma doon laaj yi fekk ko ayda kooba naa ko ba pare wala ko eegaanguma si sax
waxoon nañ ko sax ba pare wax dëgg
depuis half 2 ba tey xaw ma 2 ba tey fu mu nekk ba am naa suba inshallah
Baby J baalal leen ma de doguma leen am nga Aliya man maa ngi doon wax yi fi distractors so loolu moo tax maa doon wax I am soft young money about people like that
Dr.
Savage loolu la dee def dafa dem si plateforme bu nekka try to distract your agenda
loolu laa doon wax fii
ki doon wax distract us
Dr. Mbaye foog naa ne ñooñu demuñ dama ragal ne ñu ci background bi yow waxal rek kon lan nga doon bëgg a explain
mais nañ ko mu wax on a saga muy bëgg a nekk distractor we have to mute that person let him listen if he wants if he doesn't want to listen then maybe we find an exit by his own but su fekkee ne dañoo nekk di bàyyi distractor nga xam ne ci distractor la nga bàyyi ko muy nekk di nit di la distract di la wax ne loo wax du right loo wax du lii that's what he does every time te su ñëwee daf dee isi gaayam yi nga xam ne gaayam yi di comment si suuf gaay di ci kaw di yaaxa sa bugg a yaaxa sa agenda bi let's not allow that let's stay focused
but that's okay man ma de wax rek mooy
bi Abu di génna wax na ne ñoom ibaadu yi moo taxawoon man ma adresse on first one bi because kooku daf ma dee topp Facebook di wax
no that's okay
yeah
that's okay that's okay I think ne comme lu ma doon wax rek mooy waaw comme lu ma doon wax rek mooy you know people are welcome to join the conversation people are welcome to come to join the platform because man lu ma dee wax rek mooy okay Savage hello Savage there you go
Yes.
Savage naka nga def
I'm fine, thank you.
Very good.
Sorry, I missed you because Mangdon Dega, you were raising some, some valid points with regards to the Sobea turnaround agricultural agenda. What are your specific questions?
I mean, I've asked them here before, but
I wasn't in by that time. Do you mind repeating them or reiterating yourself?
Well, I don't mind to repeat them. I just don't want, being misjudged when I am purposely here to destroy your program or whatnot. That's not my intention.
Sorry, let's go back. Let's not go back to history. You have...
No, I'm not going back to history, but you asked me a question, and if I ask that question, I don't want to be misjudged. My questions and my argument to my questions, program. That's not my intention. I just want to make that clear.
I'm here to engage you, and I promise you, I wouldn't give that perception to you or towards your question. Yes.
So they were talking about agriculture, and while they were talking about agriculture and all that stuff, and I asked them, what is Essa Faal's policy in addressing the agricultural system of the Gambia? They've highlighted a few key points, which to me, they don't sound very convincing, and that's what I said.
Do you remember the key points highlighted?
Like, for instance, they've highlighted that Essa Faal would be providing means for accessible in terms of agricultural equipment for farmers to be able to farm and support and so forth. Like now, okay, that's not enough to convince me that will address the issues. What is the
what is enough to you, in your own view?
Well, in my own view, in order to address the agricultural issue of the Gambia, it's not just by going to farmers and giving them tractors, because Yaja may have done that, Jawara done that. There's a lot of things that we need to study and see. Why did we fail? Why did Gambia fail in those areas? And in order for us to address it, by finding out the reasons we fail, now we can come up with a conclusive plan that this would work. And to me, personally, I think that to address the grassroots level of agricultural issue or farming issue, we have to be innovative. We have to be innovative. The method that was here before, by giving people tractors and money, is not going to cut it.
Okay.
There's no country that succeed in agriculture by just giving equipment and money to farmers.
Yeah, but Mr. Savage, is no point in the Soviet turnaround that specifies only equipment provision. The agricultural agenda for Soviet is an overhaul agenda, a complete overhaul of the agricultural system in the Gambia. And the blueprint specifies every single step that we are going to take in order to work towards food sufficiency in the Gambia. And those bullet points, if you have reviewed and read the agenda, does not mention tractors anywhere.
I don't have access to it, but do you mind to share what, maybe three key points?
No, we will. I will share with you. And I'm glad you are confirming and acknowledging that you don't have an agenda. You don't have an access to our agenda. I'm not surprised.
Absolutely. I told them to send it to me. I just asked them questions. That's it. But I told them to send it to me. I will.
Okay. So let me address. Yeah, let me address your first concern. Since you have mentioned that provision of tractors and equipment alone doesn't suffice, right? The revamping, right, and the revitalization of the Jahari Pasha project. Now, to address that concern of yours, Jahari Pasha is a bullet point of the agricultural overhaul agenda of the Soviet turnaround party or entity, political entity, number one. It's just one single bullet point. Before you came in, I was in the platform and I gave an overview of the agricultural agenda, and I said the number one goal is to work towards food sufficiency for the Gambia. And I also mentioned that even though rice production and farming is going to be prioritized, rice is not the only product that Essa and the turnaround campaign is aiming towards commercializing in the Gambia. We're going to diversify the Gambian agricultural sector. We're going to include millet, peanuts, and you name it. And I mentioned that. And we talked about how the diversification of the agricultural sector in the Gambia, right, should be geared towards better health. And knowing rice, being the major component or a major component of carbohydrates, rice is not as healthy as millet, for example. So diversification is one other means by which we're going to try to revamp the agricultural sector in the Gambia. Jahali Pacha was just a single bullet point. Our focus is not just aiming at Jahali Pacha. Our focus is the overall agricultural sector of a country. But the reason why we mention rice is because I don't know where you are with statistics, but 2022, for example, just to throw numbers out there for you, the Gambia spent $73 million 1 year alone on rice importation. Okay, so because of that, and knowing that we are being Gambians, knowing that the rice is the main staple food, obviously we're gonna focus on rice as a political party, right? But then we are gonna diversify the agricultural sector. We are gonna institutionalize the agricultural sector. We are gonna commercialize the agricultural sector by subsidizing the agricultural sector and providing equipment, fertilizers, and seeds, and everything that sector needs. That is an overall approach. That is not a single approach of Jahali Pacha. So when I hear you and your friend Abu focusing and just pounding on Jahali Pacha, you can understand why the rest of the platform becomes very confused.
No, that is because when I asked my question, and by the way, thank you very much for the incitement, because I definitely, I'm seeing a little bit of certain plans, and I think it's worth commendable other plans. They sounds a bit convincing. Now, practicality, we'll talk about that later, but I'm convinced by the little that you've shared, because the reason I spoke about Jahali Pacha, I like numbers. And I know that in order for you to address a farming issue in the Gambia, you don't only have to address rice issue. And I know that Jahali Pacha, what he used to provide for Gambians, it will not be able to meet the needs of Gambians today.
Well, we never said that that's the only thing we're going to address.
Yes. I'm not saying that's what you said.
Okay.
What I said is, when I came up, I'm not saying that's what you said. I said the reason my argument earlier was because when I asked questions to the people that were here, they were not able to convince me or say or share information like you did. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No. I totally understand your point.
So the reason I brought that to, if that was the only thing they could tell me that Essa Faal has as a plan, then I'm sorry. I have all right to say I'm not convinced.
No. Of course you would. But
now that you've explained a little bit further on the diversification of agriculture, which I think that is what needs to happen.
Yeah. And that's what
you cannot provide food to people only by looking at what they eat. The Essa Faal, yes, has a plan in working to make sure that the food guide of the Gambia would reflect the agricultural plan. Kudos.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, but Savage, I'm glad you have been a little bit convinced.
I'm not convinced, but I understand what you're saying.
No, you said.
I'm not convinced. At some point, we are convinced, bro.
No. This is your own word now, Savage. I'm not putting words in your mouth. You just said that. I'm glad you explained further because I am now a little bit convinced. Is that not what you said?
Yeah, that's what you said.
That he has a plan.
No.
To address the agriculture.
Okay.
But no, I'm not convinced about Essa Faal.
I know, hearing from you, I would need at least 48 hours to totally convince you.
No,
but
really.
I'm saying this is your own word saying that. I'm glad you explained in detail because I am a little bit convinced. This is your own words, though, right?
Correct. I said that, about agriculture for
good.
sure. Yes.
Wonderful. And then, but then you've raised a very good point, and that is if Essa had only focused on Jahali Pacha, then obviously you would say that that is not sufficient. But of course, I would have said the same thing, Savage, because that would be myopic, right? That would be myopic to attempt to overhaul a whole agricultural sector of a nation by focusing only on one project, which is Jahali Pacha project. That would be very narrow-minded. Essa is not narrow-minded. And the people around Essa...
Which politicians are doing? Politicians are doing that in the Gambia.
They are not Essa. They are not Essa.
No. Okay, but now the thing is...
Let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement if you don't mind. So, to focus on one project will be very narrow-minded. That would be parochial, actually, to use a better term. Essa is not parochial. The people around Essa are not narrow-minded. They are not myopic. And it's unfortunate that you haven't laid your hands and eyes on our agenda, but we have provided a detailed enough and synopsis enough blueprint that actually tackles all the major failed sectors of the Gambia, including agriculture. So you're right. You would not have been convinced, and I wouldn't expect you to be convinced if Essa was so narrow-minded only to focus on Jahali Pacha. But that's not the case. I can assure you that. And if you want a copy of our blueprint, it's publicly available. It is publicly available. We posted that in our Facebook page. All you have to do is go to Essa by Faal official Facebook page. But if you still just want us to give you a copy that will assure you that this is the official copy, we can do that too. Right
now, you know, a system of politics and elections. Maybe I am used to clean way of politics.
What is clean? What is clean politics in your definition?
A clean politics, or my way of politics, is that I convince even the layman in any way they want to be convinced. Not just by giving them, okay, here is my flyer or my booklet, go ahead and read it. Like if I walk into a room, it says, this is the Democratic Party maybe, or, you know, Republicans. And they're like, oh, this is one vote. Because I believe each vote counts. Even if it's one vote, that could change a lot, especially when the system of election in the Gambia. Now, if I walk into a platform where it's all Essa Faal, like what is the name of the thing again? Turnaround, right? Movement. So if I walk into you guys' platform and ask a question, and I want to be convinced, I feel like each and every individual that identify as part of the movement should be able to either try to convince me, but not argue or debunk or discredit or judge, because you are into politics. You are looking to convince people. You're selling your merchandise. It's like customer service. The reason the likes of UDP, I will say it louder, they've tried to convince me to join their party, and I don't care. I've been on their platform several times, and this is how I challenge them. You want Gambians to vote for you. I want to ask questions.
No, okay.
My grandma will not be able to ask.
This guy got it all wrong. What makes you think people got to convince you for development of our nation? You are part of the nation.
Because you don't have to convince you to prove me, mister.
No, we don't have to prove you what's going to develop our nation, bro. Why do you are part of the nation just like us? Why do we have to?
Do you know what elections is? Do you know how politics is run? Politics is about convincing. You don't have the opportunity to be in there yet. Essa Faal does not have the opportunity. If he sits here, he could have all the good ideas, but he has to convince.
All right.
Even the old lady in Basse, Farafeni, Kuinala, Koina, that person need to convince them and say, hey, you know what? If I get in, my policies will have to reflect in changing your life.
No, Savage, you are pivoting now. You are pivoting, and I hope you would agree that you are pivoting now.
And then you will know the policies that he said there.
If the old woman in Koina is not educated to read,
you can try to translate it in Mandinka to them, since you can read English. This is our effort.
How can I translate it to them if I'm not convinced enough?
It's not about translating. Okay, you are not convinced about it. You would
Savage Muloko convinced because
hold on. So Savage, I think you're pivoting now. I just wanted to make sure that your concern about the agricultural agenda and your questions are answered. But since you are pivoting into all other sectors of customer service, politics, Quinella, I mean that's a whole broad range of topics. Do you have any further question about our agricultural agenda?
Those are not topics. You're gonna have to listen to understand. Those are not topics. What I'm saying.
Do you have other questions about our agricultural agenda?
No. I've asked you my question, you've responded.
So you don't with the agricultural...
Yeah, what is your opinion about the answer of the question?
Well, I've already said it. I said the way he answered the way he answered the question, he was able to dive a little bit deeper into.
So that was the only
No, it's
question
not
you
a
had
little
about
bit
the
deeper.
agenda?
Sabe,
That's not.
don't control. Even find the controversy concerned because you said you were a little bit
No, it's
convinced.
okay.
Now we can topic. I understand. You have to be honest to
But
yourself.
Savage, do you have any further question about the?
Docteur Mbaye yàlla xam na ne li nga ko wax nii yëpp wax nañ ko ko moom moo bëgg a
No, but Savage, do you have additional question about the agricultural agenda,
force
Savage?
him to believe in what we believe. So
No, yes, it's
No, but
okay.
you have to be able. You have to be able to grow, patient, to be able to convince Gambians. Because
Okay,
Essa Faal cannot lead the Gambians. He cannot convince Gambians.
what you don't
for
want
him.
to understand?
Okay, so we got that, Savage.
But
Savage, hold on. Savage, we are very inviting here, and we want you to feel invited.
I don't know.
Hold
it's
on a
not
second.
reflected. It's not
Hold on a
reflected.
second. Yeah, hold on a second. We are very inviting, and we want you to feel invited. Now, I wanted to address all your concerns and questions to the best of my ability with regards to the agricultural agenda. You asked one single question, and I realized that you spent almost over an hour. Now, you got to have more questions in order to stay in a platform for over an hour. Or was that your only question?
That was not my only question.
Which other question do you have regarding our agricultural agenda?
Exactly.
That was not my only question.
Which one
Yeah, but
do you have? Which additional ones?
Because we are on an agriculture topic today.
Correct. Yes, I just want to engage Savage in a very educative manner that we will all benefit from his brilliant knowledge. Savage, do you have any additional question regarding the agricultural agenda of Sobea turnaround?
Yes, I do have.
Which one?
However,
Okay, come on.
I do have other questions.
Okay, I'm listening.
However, hence, some of your members have promised that they will send.
Savage, hold on a second. Savage, hold on a second. You're not being fair now. You're not being fair to yourself and to this
What do
platform.
you mean I'm not being fair to myself?
No. What additional questions do you have regarding the agricultural agenda?
I said I do have further questions. However,
Okay.
hence I was told by some of your members that they would send me your manifesto. I would like to go because now after you told me a few key points about your agriculture, now I'm interested to further read about it. And and this thing.
You have the agenda now. Listen, you have the blueprint now talking to you. Let's engage. Let's talk. Which other, rather than waiting for the blueprint, bring up your questions. You have the blueprint now
exactly.
talking with you.
Okay. So if that's what you want, now let's go for it. So if you're saying it, you guys are going to diversify the agricultural setup by venturing into other means of farming, not only rice. You would wish to provide other things for Gambians, such as millet.
Which other means did I mention?
Well, you've mentioned millet. Didn't you mention millet?
Yes.
Now, millet is not something that is new to Gambians. They've been farming millet.
Okay.
Right? It's part of it's not the main staple, but it's part of Gambian staple. Now, in order to farm millet, is this addressing agriculture only for Gambians to feed themselves, or to create a form of intercontinental trade, or making sure that our products that are farmed in the Gambia, produced in the Gambia, are also sell other places to create more benefits for not just the government or the individual farmers that sell within the Gambia, but also create a vacuum for them to thrive?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, good question. So part of the overhaul that we talked about before you came in earlier this evening was to, and I just mentioned it to you actually, and that is to commercialize the Gambian agricultural sector. And what that means is that we're going to provide farmers with all the equipment, all the raw products that they need, including fertilizers, to be able to produce not only rice, but millet, corn, peanuts, and everything that the land can actually grow. And we have an arable land system in the Gambia. So if it is done right, with the right subsidy and the right support from the government, with accountability measures all put in place, we convinced that the Gambia can just not only become food sufficient, but even produce surplus. Not only with rice though, but from a diversified agricultural sector. And given that surplus comes the commercialization of it. But we're not going to commercialize intercontinentally, like you said. We're going to do intracontinentally. You know the difference, right?
Are you questioning my education?
No, I'm questioning my conversation. I'm questioning you. You asked me a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you know the difference between inter and intra of what we mean?
Of course I do.
What is the difference?
Are we in a classroom now? You mean?
No, we are in a platform. What is the difference?
But now, this is why I said, are you questioning my education or what?
I'm not. I'm questioning your understanding of my statement. I don't know your education.
Yeah, okay. All right. So
I'm questioning your understanding of my statement. That way I can proceed.
I understand. Go ahead. I am listening.
You know the difference between by what we mean as an entity that we're gonna commercialize intracontinentally.
Right.
What's it? What do we mean by that in your own understanding?
Continue as I continue to listen.
Yeah, I can't talk to you. I'm sorry.
Well, then you still don't have the answers to my question.
You don't have any question. It's clear now.
There you go. I find it's easy and for you to sit there and claim that these are your plans, but the mechanism in which you would implement these plans are not even clear. For instance, you give the farmers. Yeah.
Sorry, let's be honest. No. Let's be honest. You're not interested.
Don't tell me that you give them the equipment. You give them that. But where is the educational aspect of educating farmers? Because when you look at Gambia, the way we farm, people farm to eat in their homes.
So you're now shifting from your question of commercializing to now the question of education, right?
Before I am able to commercialize, I need to teach people.
But let's tackle
only to commercialize and have
what they could eat for the next. But let's tackle our commercial approach first, and then we will go to your next question, which is how to educate the farmers.
Savage, if you want to get answers, you have to also take questions from people. Like you ask questions, but you don't want to take questions from people. You have to accept it.
You ask about how are we going to commercialize.
Like when you come here, you ask us, we could give you the answer. Are we in a classroom? Why are you asking us? We should only concentrate on selling our agenda without taking questions from anyone. But right now, we can also say the same thing to you. But you have to also accept questions if you want to get answers.
I think that's a fair point.
Savage, manifesto be address na yow linga lini. There's going to be a training institute pour linga wax ni pour lo xamne dafa train pharmacy. Am nga yow linga wax ni yeb mo ngi ci manifesto bi. Fokk na ne yaakar na ne so readé manifesto bi.
No.
Dina ko answer.
No, come on, Wanisa. Xam nga the problem boy. The problem boy ne people have a perception about every political party in the Gambia are all the same. I think Savage mentioned that earlier. This is what politicians do. And the first and biggest mistakes that, in my view, that Gambians do more to use that perception towards the Essa Faal campaign and think that, because it is just like any other political entity in the Gambia, let me come in and try to challenge them, and I can bet you that they cannot stand up to the challenge, right? But one thing that I can assure, and that I always tell people, Essa doesn't have to be present in these platforms. Essa has proteges around him, and within the turnaround Sobe Puri that can stand anywhere and talk to anybody who wants to engage in educational conversations, who wants to engage in political conversations and social reform conversations. That's the point, and this has to be clear. We have we have an answer to your question if you're genuine about your question. I think the problem with Savik Boy, he wants to ask the questions and pose those as challenges, but does not put himself in a position, right, to answer also certain questions in order to carry on the conversation. Because he has the perception of that he can only pose challenges and expect and think that there's nobody around who can take up those questions and even run with them and answer those questions beyond his expectation. That is what is going on with Savage right now. And I could already read that effect.
Sorry, I had a call in between, but I had you saying I'm not genuine with my questions or what?
You had a call. So do you want me to repeat everything I said?
I mean, we're still having a conversation, aren't we? Like, we're still engaging.
Correct. So I'm glad we mentioned that. So let's go back to your second question. You said you wanted to know how we're going to commercialize the Gambian agricultural sector.
Correct.
Was that your second question?
Yes. Like, what are the?
You asked me. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Lamin, just me 1 second. Do you mind me asking Savage? Savage, do you know anything about farming or agricultural sector? Do you have any knowledge about farming or agriculture sector in general?
Yes, to answer your question, I have a bit of knowledge about farming. I'm not going to say I'm a farmer, but I have a bit of knowledge about farming.
All right. So in order for you to comprehend about farming, you have to have a little bit knowledge about farming, or you'll be at the farmers a little bit. Because the way you're talking, I'm listening to you, but you sound like you don't have no clue about agriculture or farming. So you're not a farmer. It's going to be hard for you to convince you. You're asking something you don't have no clue. You don't have no knowledge about. This is what I'm trying to get here. You asking something you don't have no clue, you don't have no knowledge about, but you want to know a lot about it. Can you get me something out of this for me to understand where you're coming from and why you want to know about agriculture when you have no clue about farming and agriculture? Why you want to get so deep into agricultural? You have other sectors you know are better, or you have a better knowledge about those sectors. Talk about those sectors and leave a farming sector until the farmers came. They will ask us what they need about us, or what they want to know what we can do when we come to the agriculture. Then we can talk to those guys. But you cannot understand how farmers how that sector works. So if you can bring another sector that you have a knowledge about, we will be more than happy to talk to you about that sector. But this sector here, we cannot convince you on this sector because you don't have no knowledge about it. I love it. Thanks.
No. But even the sector that Savik may be an expert on.
Continue with
even the sector, even a sector that Savik.
If you want to ask questions also, because we can say the same thing to you. That's what I was trying to say. When you come and ask your question about our agenda, we can say, no, we are not in a classroom. We are just trying to sell our agenda. We don't want to answer questions. But if you come and ask questions, we are giving you answers. You have to be ready to have to also answer questions to be so of getting answers of the question you are asking.
But yeah, that's a fair point. But then that's what I was about to say. By the way, that even if we change the topic, and I know our topic of discussion tonight was agriculture until we had Savage in. But even if we change the topic for the benefit of Savage, I realize that we still have to be careful of what questions we pose at Savage, because then he will ask us whether we're challenging his education, even though we don't know what his education is. He hasn't shared voluntarily, and we're not going to ask for sure. So I think this is a mute point. Yes, I got you. I think this is a mute point at this point, and I think if it's fine with the coordinator, again, this is what I would describe as detractors, because the conversation is not yielding to anything.
Man luma si naxare rek mooy ne fu mu nekk Savage, even though man jeekalewu ma woon points yi ma amoon pour wax si policy si yëpp, xam nga moom raté na lu bari, wante man lu ma métti si lii rek mooy ne dafa dem toog feneen mu ne dem naa Sobeya naka ansuñ, they couldn't answer any of my questions. So loolu dafa dem ko bare
why baby J so loolu tam
why xam nga in as much as ñu ngeen nekk di wax suñ biir wax fii nii yëpp am na yenn yi nga xam ne yéen a ko wax. It's not about the party. It's not about Essa Faal.
Right.
You guys are focusing on Savage as if like Savage dafa ñëw fii nii.
No.
No, mema. Yéen yëpp boo leen doon wax déglu naa leen. So to be fair, dégg maa may man ma wax. O man ma wàcc ma dem.
Oh no, come on. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So léegi xam nga dañoo waxtaan.
So we're not focusing on you. You're the like the question, and we have to answer your question.
Well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sabi. Go ahead.
My point is that my understanding of politics. I made some money. Maybe Mansuma understanding of politics is not the same as Gambian politics.
Right.
Gambian Mansuma understanding of politics more than politics dafa mel ni kuy jaay marchandise nga nekk di jaay te suma understanding of election mooy ne lan nit ñi ñoo laa saani nga mun a win nga yow nga wone loo mun waaye balaa nit ñi di la saani àdduna léegi fu mu nekk nii especially Gambia dañu war a génna si li nga xam ne loolu lañ amoon demba mooy politique yi ku ma xam politique yi ku ma àndal wala politique yi suma mbokka wala politique yi saako maalo dafa war a nekk policy based politics te policy based politics si lu ma xam aduna laa wade si dëkk yu dem kanam waxuma most countries in Africa de even Sénégal muy Sénégal sax suñu politique is based on policies.
Okay.
So léegi man su ma ñëwee ma fekk leen ma laaj leen questions si seen kii si yéen loo leen di jaay seen marchandise des na si yéen pour ngeen jaay ma marchandise bi pour man ma mun koo jënda.
Right.
Because kuy jaay du xeeb especially politics. Kuy jaay du xeeb especially politics.
Right.
Understand? So demee ba si am xeeb rek buñ saanee karta nga gis sa bopp.
Wait, Savage, I have to tell you that you guys have to continue from the point that you stopped with Lamin Mbai. What is your understanding about commercial, agriculture or something like where you stop? You have to continue there. We have time for other people. So can you please continue from there?
I cannot continue there. As if
no.
That is personal. That is too personal.
Please continue from there. We want to know from that point.
Unfortunately, it was a pleasure being here, and I will definitely come back because Manduma they help.
Wow. Mun nga dem nga def sa investigation about
Waaw
what
Savage
he
dinañ la
asked you
yónnee
and then come
manifesto
back.
bi
No
dinañ la yónnee
problem.
manifesto bi.
Savage wax naa ko naa ko yónnee manifesto bi.
If you want to ask
No.
questions, you have to take
You
Over
can come
5
back.
people promised nañ ma dinañ ma yónnee manifesto bi.
dinañ la ko yónnee.
No,
Wow.
Savage doesn't need the
Man-
manifesto. Savage has the manifesto right in front of him.
Okay.
Savage just needs to engage the
Why
manifesto.
pa yow
That's
to
all he needs
comply
to
nag
do.
Dr. Lamine moom loolooy problème.
Yeah. So Savage just needs to engage the manifesto. But Savage, let me assure you one thing. We'll be waiting for you. And we're not going to wait for you, put hebate, or to fight. No, we're going to wait for you to engage you and try to the best of our ability to answer all your questions. But questions and answers are bi-directional. They are not unidirectional.
Exactly.
They are bi-directional, Savage. You sound very educated. I'm not, underestimating your education at all, despite your insinuation of that. You sound highly educated. But with education comes genuineness and respect for others. That comes with education. Education comes with integrity. And integrity starts with respecting your time and the value of other people's time, right? So we're waiting for you, and we're hoping that you're going to come with that genuineness, that level of integrity to engage in fruitful conversation, right, about our agenda, our plans for our country, Gambia. That's what we're talking about here, right? Man, we were hayoni.
And he's a
You say
president.
you are sure
But
he's not truthful.
Savage, at some certain point, at some
He was not
certain
being
point,
truthful.
you
No,
did say
you
that
can't know
you
that.
need you need the answers like the way he's
Yeah.
gonna do it. And then secondly, you say he's not being truthful without even saying, cause like
Yeah.
like
don't
baby,
know.
they told you that she has mentioned all the things needed to be
Yeah.
told,
Walegi,
and you
Walegi.
were not here. And then they plead to send you the things to go through.
Of course,
it.
I'm open for that. UDP have
Okay.
sent me
Yeah,
their
but you say
manifesto.
you are
I'm
sure
open for
that
that.
he is
Open
not
for
being
that.
truthful,
You
that
are
you cannot
open for
accuse
that,
someone
and you
for something
haven't
that you
seen
don't
it.
know.
Of course I can. Of course I can. I can't say to Essa Faal, I will look at him and say, Essa Faal, I don't think you've been truthful for that. And
Okay, but
You say
have
no,
an
no, 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 no.
agreement.
It's not about thinking at this point. You say it. I'm pretty sure that Essa Faal is not being truthful.
And I will say the same thing. I will say the same thing to his face. I will say the same thing to his face that he is not being truthful. And I have an argument for that. And if
Okay,
he
what's
can
your
convince me
argument?
back,
What is your
if he can
argument?
convince
Okay,
me
then
back that I was wrong,
okay, then back your that sentence. Like you said, you have an answer to it. Now back what you say. Then back it.
Yeah.
up.
What's your
Okay.
argument? Yeah.
okay. But first, can I make one clarification about Tijan, what he says on Sufeke ne yangi buga ne kalifin Baykat if so I'm a hard script karap and all that stuff. Can I just make that clarification?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So leneen lañ war a understand te ñun African yi Gambia in particular mooy lan gis nga lépp li nga xam ne yaa ngi siy yëngu si sa boppa yow yaa war a am sa own xaalis pour defal ko sa boppa su fekkee mbéykat nga yaa war a am sa own xaalis pour defal sa boppa looy béyal bañ dëkka du dee dem di jox nit ñi xaalis pour ñu def béy waaye ñun africain dañ miin nit ñi duñuy jox ñu ne jox nañ la lii nga def lii xam nga dëkk yi lan lañ dee dimbalee seen béykat yi they help them in terms of subsidies subsidy lan la dee nekk mooy lan su fekkee yow yaa ngee fay tax am na yenn products yi nga xam ne soo koo jënda comme GRA duñ tax products yooyu noonu for instance su fekkee ne yow yaa ngee jënda fertilizers yu bëri yaa ngi ko andi si biir réew mi duñ def tax si kaw loolu ngir mu ñuy yombal la jënda booy jënda pour dugal sa alal bi ci biir parce que yow mbéy mooy mbéy mu ngee delluwaat ci biir nit ñi loolu lañ dee wax subsidies and loolu mu ngi am biir Gambia as we speak loo moo tax nga dee gis ne te loolu seen wargal la de seen liggéey la nguuri Gambia liggéeyam la pour mu def loolu waaye da ngaa gis ne ñoom dañ ko dee use as political tool ñuy nax mbéykat yi di leen wane ma maa leen andil fertilizer fekk dañ ko dee subsidize te loolu warut I understand warut waaye unfortunately ñàkk a jàng bu nekk suñ biir moo dee tax nit ñi duñ dee mën a ràññee politiciens yi suñ laa fenal comme ma yow tey man suma liggéey la pour ma jox la ndox ak courant ma ne la ne ndox ak courant bii nii sa vote bi moo tax ma jox la ko waaye even ma yow suma votalutee man war naa laa jox ndox ak courant parce que man loolu mooy suma warugal si yow waaye ñun dañu dee nax unfortunately now coming back to Essa Faal te lu mu wax noonu si affaire yi xaalis bi xam nga is easy comme tey ñun ñu fi nekk nii yëpp mostly ci ñi nga xam ne ñun yëpp maybe we've lived in Gambia or jógee nañ foofu xale yi tey su ma la laajee tey sëriñ yu nekk Gambia yëpp lan lañ dee wax xale bu dem seeti gaay yow di nga tukki di nga am liggéey parce que xam nga lu tax Gambia problème yi ndaw yi Gambia xam nga lan la tukki ak liggéey so it's easy pour politicien mu xool la mu ne la nga laaj ko question mu ne la ne man su ma nekkoon si situation bii nii damaa distribute xaalis bi nii ak nii pour nga xam ne ndaw yi dinañ si am liggéey parce que am na lu moo yoot si yow mooy lan sa karta ñun ndaw yi nag ñoo war a ubbi suñu bët ñoo war a ubbi suñu xel bi nga xam ne boobu la ñuy yàlla may tubaab bi lu ñoo ooyee critical thinkers ñu utilize that portion of our brain ñu analyse lépp li nga xam ne yaa ngi koo wax tey Essa Faal mun naa nekk ki nga xam ne yéen da ngeen ko nawloo waaye loolu bu mu tax ba su waxee doo leen toog ngeen analyse ngeen xool ngeen bañ lu xewoon Barrow wala wax yu rëy yu Yaya Jammeh doon wax wala wax yu rëy yu Jawara doon wax suñ maam yi ak suñ papa yi mu dalaat
Okay, but still now you don't answer my question. My question is that you cannot join Essa Faal also if Essa Faal is not the acting president now. And this is a question that he answer. You have to also understand the fact that Essa Faal is educated. If he don't do it, people will hold him accountable to what he do. But right now, you cannot hold him accountable for something that does not happen yet.
No, but you can hold what he says. You can hold what he says back to him. I'm not saying
when he is acting as the president and he didn't do it.
No.
You can hold him.
No.
Wait. I am soft. Wait. Savage, understand nañ fi nga ñëwee nga ne luñ ñu wax rek buñ ko gom nañ nekk di critically analyze dugana fi but what I'm telling you is yow li nga wax fi yépp man bala ngaa duga si wax naa ko si loolu laa nekk ba tey su fekkee loolu doyu la xaaral after lii ma yónnee la manifesto bi su fekkee li si manifesto bi doyu la man li ma wax doyu la tamit nga seet nu ñoo nooy li fi nee naka nooy seetee xëy na si interview yi Essa yi all living because danga war a understand itam we are not Essa there are certain stuff yoo xam ne Essa si boppam moom moo la ko mun a ansal ñun amuñ ansa si yëpp understand nga soo loolu la wow
which is fair and I totally understand that to be pare man some manifesto solemako yone again you can send it to me. I will read it. I have no problem with that. I did the same thing with UDP. I read their 5-point agendas, whatever. But the same thing, right? Linga hamne nyom sen bopa come Essa Faal mom I'm a National Assembly member, so I cannot like argue a certain point with him because his party is new. He doesn't have National Assembly members. But the guy gisne Gambian politics, politicians, they have the same trend. Ku batam dem ci kaw leen dee dégga wante ñoom yépp the same systematic politics la guy they use ci kaw Gambian innocent Gambians te Gambia problème am dafa dem ba jéggi fi nga xam ne nit dafa ñëw di wax ne man suma toogee dama leen a adressal security dama leen a lifin agriculture nga xam ne lekkay dina yomba no that is flimsy lifin promises yi nga xam ne isn't possible. It cannot be addressed that way. The problem of Gambia, pour agriculture, you mun ko address. It's not just mbeykat. Neko jox xaalis mbeykat yi pour ñu mbey. Loolu du problem.
Savage.
Innovative.
Well, because I think Savage, you just come right now. You don't even.
Every day we have different types of topics.
It's not about we started giving money to people, but you misunderstand it. I think if you
We are
were
not
here
saying
from the
they
starting,
should
it
be
would
like.
be.
We are not talking about like they should be entitled to be asking money. No,
Okay, so let's continue.
it's not to be like entitled. Ki foog na dafa foog ne we are saying like
Okay, King, send me a
Mariama,
request because I
Mariama.
think he didn't.
now.
He
Mele
didn't
mo
hear everything.
balalem watuti. You guys were on track and you don't sell agenda bi. Understand?
Wow.
So suke na ñëwé si platform bi. Yen may ko muy wax and that person is trying to distract you guys. Te yen wax ngeen lolu ba paré de. Mom dafa wara lifin because ñun yen ko even offer pour jox ko manifesto bi pour mu mëna xam lu nekk ci manifesto bi yépp. But he's not willing to go with that way even.
Yeah, when people hate something or they don't like to
distraction,
listen, this is how they react. Yeah, that's true.
You know, bulen nangu distraction. Savage have a habit of this. That for them any other life trying to distract people what they were saying, trying to distract them all the time. So let's get on track. Stay on track, please, guys, and just sell your agenda. It's better than letting people come in to distract you. Kuneka amna munya nyonga wa. But to fake buga distract, you guys have to put your eggs in one basket and go to the track again because he's trying to distract you guys. Please, thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue from where I stopped before Savage came in. Okay, so what last about one, sir?
We stop at the fisheries, I think.
Yeah, okay, fisheries, wow.
Lu si gina bon sa haral ma wax balal ma dafa ñew mu wax and then it's our turn to respond to him. I am so are you the one who take him down or he
No, I am 1 minute far from my phone. My phone is
like
here,
now
here,
okay, he can come and rub it on our face and not even listen to our side of the story and then boom he leave. Next time we know we mood them. I think it's high time then because if you are to talk, then you should wait for us to respond. You cannot rub it on our face and leave us like that hanging. It's crazy.
Balalen ma tuuti si loolu with due respect. So lekine dengen di jay, you got to be very patient.
Okay.
Bolen ame lolen di jay dengen am pour very patient because it's Gambians that are standing accredited for Essa Faal. So you guys have to be patient to sell your product.
Okay, uncle.
Because this is about Gambians to Gambian.
Okay.
Because you munga am sa own views about Essa. Another person have another view because the fumo wahe sing baye ñun yep suñ hell.
Wow.
Agriculture, when we're dealing with agriculture itself.
Yes.
Te ñepp a ngi wax ne waa fu maño bi war a jógee fu lii war a jógee ji bi war a jógee make one thing we fail to realize ne when we're dealing with agriculture borom faro dafa war a mun a amee cattle danga mun a war a amee sa nag ak yooyu everything is your own financial thing. It's not about the government more. You have to get a fund from the bank. yi yëpp dafa nekk loo xam ne nekku ne government moo la war a fund. While linga gis ni yeb ñu ko am si Gambia bi si itself. But the problem of the Gambian government agriculture department or the Minister of Agriculture, they have a problem, and all departments in the Gambia, they have a problem of implementation. They cannot implement. Lii mooy suñ problème. Lu ñoo wax ni yeb am nañ ko si dëkk gi. But ministers yi toog they don't implement what they already sell.
Okay.
Essa ngi woon si justice system bi xam na lu ma wax te yéen ñi fa toog xam ngeen lu ñu xam na exactly lu fa nekk su joxee tam 100,000 ke benn farmer that cannot employ youth see because it have nothing to do with the youths. Yow sa finance sa am nga même tuuti la yaa booy sa own xaalis la yow nga am pour employ youth su nekk da nga employ sa doom yi ñu nekk sa kër sa because nekkul ne xam nga am nga xaalis boobu pour employ moo tax su ñoo jaay na ñu déggal leen ak noppa bu baax bi because fa lañ juddoo ñun yëpp gis nañ jamono Jawara most of you su nekkee ne yàlla mayoon na leen ngeen fekkee ko o ngeen dégga ko yaaya ñëw fekka leen fa so moom mu jógee fa Barrow ñëw at least di ngeen war a mën a seet diggante yaaya ak Barrow the late OJ was there lan la fa mënut a nekka we have corps su nekkee dañ bëgg a loan mun nañoo dem coopérative waaye ministre si lii xam nga ñi candidates yi taxaw they full of with too much of big words when they're in office they cannot implement it fu ñu leen war a jàppee accountable mooy ne the implementation yi mooy seen problème implementation bi yëpp mooy suñ problème si Gambian politicians yu dugga yëpp lu ñoo wax yëpp we cannot deny them but they don't implement it moo tax ñu nekk fu ñu nekk tey
yeah that's true okay
seen wax nag baax na torop waaye am leen patience ngeen leen di déglu gars yi ba pare ba leen ngeen di leen di waaw boo leen bàyyee ba pare suñ duggee ngeen déglu leen thank you
okay what I want to add there is that I know that many people have this the issue of trust about our Gambian politicians, but you can never deny someone about his agenda without knowing the person, if the person is not acting as the president. So me, what I think always in my mind is that let's give him a chance. We still have a chance 2026 because we know the problem of Gambia right now, that the acting government is not doing anything. So if the acting government is not doing anything, we still have the chance to elect someone who is capable. So even though we have the politician issues in our mind, but we can still give chance to someone who have a better manifest. And let's see, if things don't work out, we still have the chance in the next 5 years to change.
I am soft.
Yeah.
I am soft. The thing is, you cannot punish somebody for the crime of another. Okay? Not everybody is the same. I know we've had some really bad leaders, but that doesn't mean that Essa is the same, right? Okay? So, Lolo Mungfa. So, we cannot keep going, oh, Mbaki, Dunyo, definitely you kill a defon. If you're doing that, then we're not going to we're going to end up with Barrow again. We need to give somebody else chance.
That's it. Because I'm going to Gambia and Beraka Legi, like Usmaila Sise, Bodesa Hamga, Sabali, Dinga Hamle, you see, they believe on these key people.
Yeah, you are right. That's right.
You know, Hamga, what Essa is still a youth. He's Halella. Hamga, genu rawul ñale si ben level of qualification ñom yeb janga kat lañ
mo len raw si qualification ak experience
même touti rek ya boy suma waxe lolu janga kat lañ ñom yeb understand nga why li ñu face you see be you see am hope for them tay fuñ tok hamga mote Barrow tok di has intellectual si over all level fu ñu mën a nekk sebo nga am 12 masters or DDS xam nga degrees they cannot trust you see if kanami you see dañ gis lu leen Sabally def lu leen Ismaila Ceesay def tey fu nekk ni su Barrow tuuflee tara dinañ ut nañ ko mën a manifester pour liggéey ko mu nekk dëgga ne waxu li is a slip of the tongue. And those are the same people ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon toog fii di wax criticize ne 2 years tam bi naka la mën a man Kabakunda naka la ko mën a bilee.
Yeah, Manson.
You know, Manson bi yeah in 4 years in office. Dëkk gi yëpp dégg leen so su Essa ñëwee tam fa fu mu nekk nii Essa Banjul la juddoo waaye Banjul bu mu taxawee Banjul votal luñ ko on dëkk fu mu juddoo
lu bare si laxasu
xam nga lu bari dafa laxasu ci wax boobu foofu yeah I know
oncle na nga def oncle
maa ngi sant bu baax waaye xam nga suñ seetee yooyu ñun yëpp Banjul daf dee sot
lu mën a bëgg waaye jégal pare ma door a ñëw please continue
Banjul daf dee dañ dee sot ak nuñ noo leen mun a rey foo leen mun a def ñoom boo demee ba dugg biir Banjul rek Banjulians lañ waaye gis nga bu élection bi li fi ne nuñ ko bitrayé pour mu am di xoli waa Banjul dafa metti waaye man I wish him because boy bi jàng na mun na liggéeyam in the justice system foofu moom bu amee si position yi xam nga system bi I have no doubt about him.
Thank you
dina ko liggéey dina téye foofu security bi moom bu fa nekkoon tey dina ko doon mun a justice system bi bu fa nekkee si position boobu I have no doubt bi fu ma tëddee dinaa nelaw because I know that he will implement it. waaye yeneen secteurs yi Banjul na kabudu bi dafa tilim de.
Waaw uncle baala ma rek.
Thank you very much uncle. I like people being honest. Gis nga uncle dafa ñëw jox ñu advice. After mu wax lu xam ne kenn du ko deny. Essa Faal have the qualification. He have everything that anyone can rely on him.
Uncle ñu waa Banjul lañ. Xëy na jur nañ si late 70 si fekkee nañ tuuti. Waaw.
Boobu ma fekk maa ngi jot doo ma fekk jot ma dugg Gambia police force.
Wow, I will tell you my father. Banjul South MP Dutal. I was born in politics and raised in politics. How do you put it in Don't know. I know you know my family.
Master Silama ya tatuan jeb Senegal.
You're correct. Wow. Dutal. How much my family? Okay.
I know.
Banjul Demba. Then don't sort. Japale. Why do Banjul live? Amatun Gor. Sorry for my language.
I know. Don't think I know.
Dafa bari ay gan. Banjul amatul ordinaire waa Banjul kër yi Banjul yëpp ay Ford naa ko jënda so Banjul dafa fa dee so ñooñu luñ jiital faxatal mooy seen nafsu seen bakken mooy alali àdduna waaye toppatuñ jega moo tax vote si demee noonu in Banjul ok dafa fekkaat tamit dafa am na ñoom still góor lañ dañ joxe seen kàddu balaa Essa di ñëw dégg na ton ba man cement la beneen la de toy man I have reached out many people in Banjul but dañu waxoon dara ne ma ok dafa am ñu leen fi jiitu waaye su la ñëwaatee dafa late waaye we wish him all the best for next time and I think development so ngi am Banjul waaye foog tamit nit ñi understand ne ñun we have been struggling to have a better leader ñëpp nga koo jooy dañ fi wax Oncle Halifa ñëpp di ko wax lu mu wax ñu ko li la wax but they didn't give him chance. Well, Gambia, the Gambia, you could do. So, a place will have the over. And I believe to market Essa's agenda is very easy, and we have a very good product to market because we see what he delivered from 1997 up to now. So, let me see his track of research. Laws implement, see, constitutional law, a commission new post, CBT, Axibir. So, let me tell you. Dika bo ñoo estimo seen question bi Essa bokk na ci ñu ko draft dika bo ñu ko njëriñu waaye ñun ñu am di opportunité ku mel ni ko mënu ko jot tan ok ñu nga wax ñu jàng bari nañ Gambia ñu ko daxa jàng sax mëna bari nañ Gambia but who take the risk and chance to rescue Gambia from this mess the intellectual ñu fa nekk ñu nekk abroad di liggéey ñu nekk IMF fu nekk fo dem Gambia mu fa can I jël responsibility pour ñëw pour rescue Gambian loolu la laaj that's my question but they are all sitting by the fence pour xaar li xabu pare nga yexal leen. So we have to respect ourselves and respect our leaders who are on the ground to save Gambia. But do muna ñëw tey di wax loo xam ne leeruma si niki o xawma ko I think niki yàlla fa lu ñu kaw dafa ne ikra jàngal njëkka jàngal nga xam it's all about research nga xam niki da nga mun a wax o nga xam si lu nga duga man believe na ne everybody here have something in his heart or his mind. But if also people want to know ban kind of ndax su ñëwee he will give Gambia what they want. But I believe if Essa comes, he will give Gambia what they want. Because I know him personally and I work with him personally in both day and night, in dark days that we work to see that we put a smile in the Gambian people's face. So we're trying to put things together so we can have a good leader for tomorrow.
Thank you, Dr. Tal.
sa wax bi rafet na torop waaye man li ma leen di advice torop ngeen ut maire yi nga xam ne kilifa Banjul lañ kilifa Banjul ak magi Banjul kilifa yoo xam ne Banjul dañ leen di dégg ak noppa ak xel gis nga nit sooy jiita booy ut ndam dafa am position yoo xam ne danga ko am pour wàññi wàcce sa boppa si suuf down to earth yéen ñi nga xam ne yéen ay taxaw pour jaay man soldat la moom laa jànga moom laa nekk si saaf ba tey ama reserve colonel indi xam nga leen special force I serve in Afghanistan guy serve the first Gambian National Army in the Gambia ma am problème ak ndaw njaay ma bàyyi di army before even Yaya Jammeh di ne jeexal Gambia high school di ñëw join gendarme you know so ñaari dëkkay boor yi yëpp I serve my country xam naa
foog naa oncle Banjul la nekk xëy na internet bi mu ngi
waaye soo leen amee kilifa yu baax yoo xam ne nit ñi dañ leen di déglu jiital leen Essa mu ànd ak kilifa yu déggu bu mu yàkkamti mu am patient lii mu agenda sami mooy am pour jaay mu jaay ko mu làkk ko ba mu dégga kilifay dégga ko na jéenee gese sabari nonsense yi na ko jéenee si politique am
yow yaa man ñoo bokk xalaat
I'm telling you something serious na jéenee sabari gese nonsense yi yëpp na ko jéenee si politique am when he means seriously he mean business nonsense yooyu yëpp daf ko am pour erase gese sabari to nonsense yëpp na ko baan jéenee ko si système am na jaay li xam ne moom la am pour réew bi nit ñi dinañ ko dégg ak noppa man lii la amoo daal pour yokkal leen mel ci xel ba ko benn xel du xel waaye nañ dimbalante ñun yëpp suñ réew moo ñu neex waaye yal na leen yàlla tam yombalal yëpp si barke allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad yàlla bu leen rus si dara waaw so wish you all best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. ñoo ko bokk yi
waaye xam nga ma wax la dara yaa ngi fi wax léegi ne Master Sylla moo la yar
waaw
ñun Master Sylla dafa seyoon ak suñ bàjjen mu am si Kofi Sylla
Maam Sabel
déedéet Maam Sabel suñ bàjjen la suñ ñaari bàjjen la dem taka de Master Sylla dafa graaw de léegi Kofi Sylla xam nga Ousmane Sylla teddu moo ko jur
bu baax noowe waaw
de fii nii naka Amérique ñibbi si na
waaw mooy noo ko moo Sylla waaw
Ousmane Sylla waaw léegi ñibbi si na suma doomi bàjjen la Master Sylla dafa sëyoon na suma bàjjen so loolu laa la ko
Master ak suma maa ku jur suma papa seen yaay ñoo bokk ndey ak baay
dégguloo
ñoom waa gaakile man Master man 31 jëm Sénégal fa la suma yëpp nekkoon man maa jël police fa la suma añ suma yëpp fan si kër gi la doon ba Sirif ñaan bu moo ñëw di ñaan si Adama Sylla si kër gi la ma fekka
kañ yow kañ xam nga famille
ma si kër gi la ma waaw si kër gi la ne Master ma yar
waaw dëgg la sa wax rafet na torop macha allah moo tax ñu ne mag baax na si kër waaw
non ñoo bokk suñ dëkk nuñ bëgg a dimbalante mayante xel waaw ñoom ñëpp ñoo ko bokk
ñu ngi rafetlu sa kii bu baax a baax
waaw ku si mun na dugga daal
yéen ak maa
yore dëkk gi daal waaye nag ñu ngi laa dégg
allo
waaw ñu
ngi laa dégg
Yeah.